Do you want to reach out to the Vietnamese community in Seattle? Just advertise in Le Viet Tây Bắc, that is Northwest Vietnamese News, the longest running Vietnamese language newspaper in our region. Go to nvnorthwest.com.
The Beat of the Fox with Nastiness is back on K-Fox Night Beat.
Yo, what's the deal? It's the legendary Hall of Fame DJ Mixmaster Ice from UTFO.
What's up? Who you thought this is? This is Sir Mix-a-Lot.
And this is Terry Lewis.
And I'm Grand Mixer GMS.
What's up, y'all? This is DJ Third Degree.
This is JJ Hudson from the High Children family.
Sunday nights from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's K-Fox Night Beat with DJ Nastiness.
Bringing back the memories.
Bringing back the memories.
Bringing Seattle's hottest music.
Bringing Seattle's hottest music. Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
That's right. Noi.
Peace.
Kind of nonsense conversation we're having here.
The Neon Ghost Show. The Neon Ghost Show. Right here on Rainier... what's it? Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Right about now.
Rainier Avenue Radio.world. I'm so tired. I have to pee.
Hello, my name is Pastor Derek Lane, and I live and pastor here in the Othello community. I'm vaccinated because I know how illness can hurt a community. As a grandfather, I am boosted to help protect my 3.5-year-old granddaughter who can't be. I don't want to see members of my community die needlessly. And as a pastor, I've had funerals for those who caught COVID, but none from taking the vaccine. If you have questions, need resources, or want to make an appointment, visit kingcounty.gov/vaccine.
Rainier Avenue Radio.world is your 24/7 digital media hub. Tune in at Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and TuneIn apps.
I love that shattering glass moment. Bettina Carey here, the founder and CEO of We Empower You, the global community, and WeEmpowerYourLife.com, the website. And today we're going to be shattering ceilings right down to the floor, as I like to say. Can you relate to the statement, I know half of my marketing is working, I just don't know which half? Well, if you wonder, like I have in the past, you're going to want to stay tuned for this session here on Rainier Avenue Radio. We're going to be talking about how to get what's selling and with your using emotions. With me today is a returning guest, Brian Gregory, the CEO of Admanity and creator of the Admanity Protocol, the world's first algorithm for small business brand analysis. The Admanity Protocol can analyze any company brand in 5 minutes online and then create agency-level advice on how that business should market and advertise emotionally to reach those most likely to buy. The algorithm identifies the ideal tactics, strategies, and ad formulas that can be used as well as a myriad of other marketing recommendations. It is a breakthrough for small businesses that need the strategies as well as for the ad agencies that are hired to create them. Brian has been an entrepreneur for 40 years and more and has spent 20 years in the magazine publishing, advertising, and agency realm. He's written the book, Sheep Don't Eat Complicated Grass, and is very passionate about the advantages of emotional marketing. He is an advertising sales master, author, speaker, and an expert on emotional marketing and branding tactics. We're going to be diving deep in how emotions sell everything. Welcome, Brian. It's so great to have you back.
Hey, Bettina. It's great to be back as always. Thanks for having me again.
Yes, well, you're going to be one of our upcoming speakers at the We Empower You Global Summit, which we do every single quarter. And so I just wanted to have you back on this show to talk about what you're going to be talking about at the summit, for one, and also to just find out a little bit more about Admanity, because this is a brainchild of you and your co-founder. And let's just start right there.
Well, thank you. Admanity, if you, for the folks who are listening, haven't heard of it, it's a combination of two words, advertising and humanity. And that's where we get the word admanity.com. And you can go there and you can learn more about us. But essentially what we've done is we've created some very sophisticated online algorithms that will analyze a business in 5 minutes. So you just go on there and you take a 5-minute online quiz, very simple questions about your business. And what it's doing is it's building a psychological profile on the brand. So it's trying to figure out what works for you when it comes to promoting to other people. So it will give you the solutions you need to sell whatever it is you do to other human beings out there who always buy emotionally. They never buy consciously or intelligently as we wish we were. We always wish we do intelligent things, but when it comes to purchase decisions, it is a subconscious trigger. It's a subconscious decision. You make it in an instant, and it's almost always triggered by some form of emotion. So we show you how to structure that for your brand, and we can do it in 5 minutes. And in my opinion, there's nothing more valuable if you own a business than knowing that information, because that's what works.
Yes.
So that's why we do it.
What I found out in working with you is that even one word can actually impact your brand, right? So you've got to dive deep into this. I liken what you've been able to create here with this algorithm to something on the order of the Myers-Briggs or the DISC profiling, personality profiling, or strength finders. I mean, this is really phenomenal. And that you can take a test in 5 minutes and tell me what my brand needs to be doing on an emotional level to work with my my clients and my guests that come to my summit. This was a phenomenal experience. And of course, you have done this over a period of years. This didn't come from you overnight, right? So tell us about your journey to create this, and where did the idea spring from?
The idea originally came because I was a publisher. That means I owned a magazine, and that means you sell ads for a living. And when ads are unsuccessful, people cancel them. And so people would call up and cancel the ads in the magazine. It wasn't my fault, but it was my problem. And most small business people are never trained how to create great ads. They all do it the same way, the wrong way. And it was something that I wanted to fix, but I didn't have time to give a seminar to every single person that would buy an ad. And there were thousands of ad buyers over the years. And I thought, well, you know what? If I can create a system that would show any business owner, I don't care what the business is, profit, nonprofit, brick and mortar, online, MLM, I don't care. There's a human at the other end buying the product. If that's the case, then there's an emotional trigger, and there's a series of them that will sell that brand to the world. So we started to research all the best ads that have ever been run, because that's where you find the secrets. Because people didn't just decide to buy certain brands by the billions. They were motivated to do it. So we studied all the best ads, found out they all had the same triggers, narrowed it down to 15 emotions that are involved in almost every advertising that's successful. And we could create the formulas from that and show you what's best for you. And that's really a complicated explanation just to explain that we give you all the answers. Yeah. That, you can, it's A, B, C done. It's very simple. 1 + 2 = 3 level instruction on our part. But because most business owners don't have it, I decided to create it to see if it could be done. Took 7 years to do, an awful lot of money. The money that's going out, by the way, not coming in. And so, I hope business owners that are listening, if you can put your ego aside for just a second and admit there might be a better way for me to present my product to the world. If there is, I would like to know it. I would at least like to know what it is. Don't have to do it, but I think you'd be smart to find out. If you can do that, then stay tuned today as we chat.
Yes, and it doesn't matter how small the advertisement spot is, or even if it's a social media post. This is something to listen up to. I kid you not. So you have a couple of slides you're going to share with us. What would you like us to put up first?
Oh, that's a good start there.
Okay, great.
Now, we found out that one of the strongest human emotions was curiosity. And so we created a system, and we'll talk a little bit about this right now. A system, so let's say you're in business and you sell stuff. Or maybe you have salespeople sitting around. Maybe you are a B2B company and you sell to businesses, and you want to get more of those people in your game. The first thing that we found was curiosity is an amazing wake-up call of an emotion, and it can overcome almost any biases, even distrust, a poor experience in the past. Maybe they don't like you. If you can get them curious about the brand, you can overcome almost any mental barrier. And so what we did is we took our little test and we give businesses the ability to send it out. My goal is for the whole world to be giving away my product free. If that's crazy, right? My goal is to give everything away. We'll do fine. Don't worry about us. But if 1 million businesses had this product right now, there'd be 1 million businesses that knew exactly how to market. So first we make them curious, then we send them the test. Now that is generosity. When they get it, they're going to love it. And they almost always do, right? You've been through it. People are blown away and they say, wow, I never had any idea that it was this much stuff and it was this easy and all that. And then they want to do business with you. That's the reciprocity. So curiosity triggers generosity, triggers reciprocity. And now they like you. So whatever you're selling, they're going to listen. And so in just using basic emotional components here, everything we do is emotional. We can set a salesperson up for success on every single sales call, rather than have them going in hammering and closing and pushy and all the things that people hate about salespeople. Because they know they're going to get pitched, right? And the salesperson does not disappoint. Wham, bam, here's my pitch. What do you think? And and then the next phone call is even worse. So we always say, take a step back and just give a gift. Give away our product. Sells for $997 on the website. When you give our stuff away, it's a meaningful little present. I'll tell you what. And they will take notice of your salesperson, or you, if you're the salesperson. So that's one thing.
You've said a lot here. I mean, one of the things that I started with is that, folks actually say this all the time. Half of my marketing is working. I just don't know which half is working. And so you've taken the difficulty out of this equation, because the ads work when you know just enough about the emotional brand. And you have this process that you recommend. 1 and 2 makes 3 or something like that. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we found when we dissected all the best ads of all time, and these are all now brands that are billion-dollar brands, but before they were struggling, starving, and a lot of them were going under. A lot of the biggest brands you use right now were, a coin toss from being bankrupt, right? And then by luck or whatever, an ad shows up and all of a sudden sales kick in. Nobody really understands why, but no one's going to argue with it, right? Run the ad more. And some of these brands ran the ads for literally 20 years, because why would you ever stop the broken slot machine from paying out? And so 1 + 2 = 3 was our little formula that basically said, here's one emotion, and you're going to add that to a second emotion. So these two go together like peas and carrots, right? Just like Forrest Gump. Combine these two in the ad, and that will sell your product. So 1 + 2 = 3. 3 is a sale. So one emotion plus a second equals whatever is going to work for you. And there are hundreds of emotions in Admanity. Emotional formulas in Admanity. So you don't want to throw a dart and guess. You want to have the algorithms figure it out. And that's why we do the test. So there's no question what you should be doing. Then we just give them to you. We give you all the formulas so that you can go out there and be awesome in every way and be right.
That's fantastic.
And that's just the beginning of what we give you. As you know, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yes. Well, what's the next slide?
The next slide is, I think, okay, we'll go with this one. The full automation of what we do. So if you're a salesperson, the last thing you want to do is spend a lot of time having to do tedious things that get in the way of your selling. There's no salesperson anywhere that likes that. And a lot of the business tools that are around are kind of like that, to be honest. They basically slow you down a bit. So what we do is we say, okay, you can send a test in 15 seconds. Boom, it's out the door. They get an email. It says, hey, Bettina has sent you a test. Click here. And Bettina's probably already chatted about it, right? So they click and they get their answers in 5 minutes. Then what you're seeing on this slide is the follow through. This is the worst thing for salespeople. 44% of salespeople give up after the first follow-up call. 44% just give up. They don't get turned down. They just quit because it didn't turn out fast and easy. So what we do is we created this email nurture, 100 very, very carefully written emails, professional copywriting, professional design, that go out after you give away the test to educate your client. Hey, here's a little tip on copywriting. Here's a little tip on picking photos. Here's a little tip on advertising and social media, whatever. All kinds of tips and tricks that agency people would maybe tell you if you asked them. But 2 a week with your name on the emails, by the way, that it all is built custom for you. So you're the expert and you get to send out these emails. The only difference is you don't lift a finger. We do the whole thing for you. You don't even think about it. You don't have to do anything. Just know that 2 times a week, we're reaching out to your prospect, giving them a nugget of wisdom, and then putting your name on it and your contact information so they can get back to you. So salespeople will never do this. In a zillion years, a sales rep doesn't have that kind of time. You wouldn't want them to do this, but we do it.
And, this is the biggest selling point, I believe, in this new approach that you have that you call sales manatee, right? Where you're giving away these tests. Your customers are giving away these tests for free to their customers or would-be customers, prospecting customers, or like in our case, we're going to be giving away a free VIP admission pass to attend the summit. And then on top of that, they get a VIP pass to get a protocol. So an Admanity protocol. Daniel, I don't know if you have that slide up or we'll put it up later, but I'm really excited about this nurturing program because it really does represent the future for anybody who's going to be running a business and and especially ad agencies, or if you're in advertising and you're actually selling advertising. I mean, this has so many applications. But again, the most important thing that I think you've done is this 100 email nurture system that is in place on behalf of the persons that who sign up. So that is incredible. And the plan is just very affordable, and I might add, and I'm really looking forward to deploying this for the summit.
Yeah, the best thing I think about the email thing is, it's easy to send somebody an email. We've all done a million of them. And if you're an average company sending out whatever emails you do, you're getting 15, 20, maybe 25% open rate, which is fine. Ours get 50. They get a 50% open and about a 10% click through, which means they're clicking on the videos and clicking on the links inside the video. They're interactive emails. Remember, we wrote this initially for us. This was our secret weapon. We built it for Admanity, so when we sent out a test, people stayed engaged with our brand. And then it turned out to be such a home run. We said, wait a minute, why should we hog all this? I mean, this is great for us. We own it. Why don't we give it to other people so that they could have an email nurture campaign that actually gets looked at, gets opened, gets interacted with? Because 50%, if you're not an email marketing expert, is about triple the national average. And we give it to you free. You don't have to do anything.
And when you have multiple businesses like we have, we have the summit, which is its own brand and sells a certain way. And we have the membership, which is a whole another thing. Since you were there when we were taking the test with Lee Romanoff and I, can you share a little bit about those 2 separate emotional protocols that came out for us?
It was, I know Admiration was one.
Yeah, that was the summit. And Authority was the authority. Membership.
Yeah, for those listening, there are 15 emotional archetypes that sell stuff in the world. So authority is one, fear of loss is one, Affinity is one, attraction is one, and they each mean a completely different emotional motivation. Okay, that's basically what they are. So what we first do is we analyze your brand, and we said, okay, the Summit is the admiration brand based on everything you said in the test. The triggers that trigger something admirable, the desire to want something admirable, are what will work for this brand. So it makes sense. So it's sort of like I envy that, I want that. So how do I get that? And those people are enviable in there. They're good people. These are people that are aspiring and doing and growing. I want to be in that group, right? The enviable group, the enviable product. But you're
What's
also
an example of an enviable brand that, or several brands that you recognize out there that are out there?
Well, a good example would be any designer brand. If you're Gucci, you're top of the list. Lamborghini, high-end watches.
Rolls-Royce.
Yeah, Rolls-Royce, Bugatti watches. I mean, when you get to the point where you have the kind of an elite brand, you're better off if everybody and their brother can't get in it. You're better off if people recognize the value of this thing, right?
And back to the one singular word, I was going to have an ad out there about this new pass, and I had the word free, and you changed it to VIP. One word makes a huge difference. We don't want it to be free in the admiration brand. We want it to be complimentary, but VIP, right?
Yeah, the admiration brand really can't care if you take advantage of it or not. The admiration brand rolls on like thunder, and it is simply a leader. And that's what leaders do. They lead. So that's what you offer in your summits, is a chance to be part of the winning group or not. The brand can't care, right? The brand can't care for those who aren't ready. And often admiration brands find fans in those that cannot partake right now, but they still become fans. Like I can't buy a Lamborghini, but I can wear their t-shirt. I could be a fan. And yesterday's fans become tomorrow's customers. They aspire one day they're ready. Not today, but when I am ready, I know what I'm going to get. And that's the admiration brand. And so all the archetypes are like this. We show you why they work and the secrets and the ins and outs of how to market them, and the pitfalls and the weaknesses. So you got to be careful of those. The admiration brand, it sounds awesome, right? Until you fall out of favor. Or until somebody knocks you off to the point where everybody's going to get one at 10 cents. Well, then that hurts your admiration score. And all archetypes have this. You got to be aware of all the ins and outs. That's what the reports show is, it's 150 pages when you get the full report of what you are to the world and how to make it better. Yes.
And of course, now then we have the authority brand is actually our membership of the We Empower You community. Very different. We answered, three of us answered the questions together about this brand that we're developing, not realizing they're not one and the same. So tell us a little bit about some brands that have authority as their main emotion.
An authority brand is a brand based on trust. It will not be purchased until the customer trusts that the brand is going to do the right thing, right? It has to not only be a good product, but they have to trust. So a good example would be a lawyer or a doctor, somebody who is a professional, an expert. Sooner or later, you got to trust them because you can't do what they do. You just can't. So an authority brand has to be trusted almost always because there's an expertise involved that is not normal. And so when you have that kind of expertise, it's not that they couldn't understand the brand. They could, but they must trust the brand in order to embrace it. And so what's interesting about trust brands, authority sounds so rigid, but how you sell authority to the world is based on affinity and altruism and community and happiness and things like this. It's odd that something so strong, so authoritative, cannot be sold authoritatively. It must be sold in a much kinder way. That inspires trust. It's kind of like when your parents said, you said, hey, can I go out and play? And they said, no. And you said, why? And they said, because I said so. Well, that was an authoritative answer, but you didn't like it much because that doesn't help me understand. It's just a prison that you've put me in. I can't go out and play. So that's what the authority brand can never, ever, ever do. It can never just assert authority. It has to trigger trust.
And so before we run out of time, I wanted to go ahead and hopefully I'm doing this correctly, share the VIP access to the Admanity protocol through the summit. So you're going to want to go to weempoweryourlife.com and click on the summit ticket tab and get your complimentary ticket. And that will result within 2 days, you'll get your VIP access to the Admanity protocol and brand assessment. And so what's your next slide that you would like to bring up?
This just shows the full protocol. So if you're wondering what I did for 7 years and why it took 7 years for us to bring this out, here's why. I mean, you have everything from a test, which is on the left side there, to a brand brief, which tells you about your brand very succinctly and very clearly. We have Picmanity, which gives you access to 200 million high-resolution stock photos, royalty-free. That's one of the largest photo libraries in the world, because sooner or later, every brand needs a photo. You've got Admanity U, which is just chock full of teaching and training and tips and videos and all kinds of cool stuff. The brand canon, which is the 100 emails. So it's like giving everybody you come in contact with a 100 lesson course on marketing, absolutely free. A portal, a digital portal where all this stuff resides and you can access it 24/7 and you can share it with all your team and your vendors and anybody else that needs it, so that we don't charge by the user, and it's absolutely free, the portal access. And then of course the reports. So it's an insane amount of stuff that we have created so that you don't have to go out and hire a $50,000 agency. Now, if you are a $50,000 agency, don't get mad at me, because we have programs that help the $50,000 agencies get to the right answers for their clients as well.
That's right.
But most small businesses can't afford it, so they just would skip that. And that's a shame. So we built this so that you don't have to skip good advice.
Thank you so much. We've run out of time here today. Believe it or not, I could have talked with you for another half an hour. So thank you, Brian, for coming back. Next show coming up on Rainier Avenue Radio is Community Spotlight 106. And thanks everyone for listening or watching every single Thursday, 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll see you all next week. Bye for now. Coaching is a noble profession, but in these current tumultuous times, so many talented coaches are finding that they simply cannot connect with people that they could be helping. And people need our help more than ever these days. That is why I conceived the We Empower You Global Community and Global Virtual Summit. I'm Bettina Carey, and I'm inviting you to join with some of the world's leading empowerment coaches, trainers, authors, mentors, and thought leaders for our upcoming We Empower You Global Virtual Summit. There's an old adage and saying that goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. It is in that spirit of togetherness that we aim to help connect more talented coaches to the people that they might help. Join us for free and share your knowledge in this Find Wealth by Giving endeavor. And there isn't a hidden fee or big sales pitch at the end. You will be shoulder to shoulder with some of the world's best thought leaders, newsmakers, and game changers. And you will see for yourself exactly what the We Empower You global community and membership is all about. It's a blend of altruism and business, to be sure. This endeavor is audacious, and we hope to plant seeds that take deep roots. So we need you. If you have a goal of helping others reach and achieve that next rung, if your work aids in lifting people out of self-limiting beliefs, if you're ready to fix the world one client at a time, or spread your message to the masses, you're welcome to join us for our We Empower You Global Summit. Tickets are free, but RSVP is required. Scan the QR code if you're watching on TV, or go to our website at weempoweryourlife.com and click on the Summit Tickets tab to get more information and to claim your free Zoom admission ticket. We empower you. Together we will go far.